Hello again YouTube, Mad Dog here, welcome back to my channel. So this video is a bit of a tag response that I should have done a while ago, and it's to my good friend and brother Reaper Militia Outdoors, and he's tagged me into the question basically of what do I look for in a bushcraft knife. So we'll have a quick look around that. It's a hard tag to respond to because it opens up a whole variety of opinions, uses and mindsets. So stay tuned and I'll show you through my thought train. Welcome back. So I'll try and make this as brief and as painless as I can. So what I look for in a bushcraft knife. So the actual question for me is quite a searching question because it opens up a question within a question. Because I'll say it like this: when I go out for a weekend and I intend to practice bushcraft skills, I will usually 99% of the time take with me other tools. So that being said, it will be axes, saws of different types. Got quite a few different axes, quite a few different selection of saws, depending on what I intend to do on that particular trip. So the knife is a judgment which is a suitable companion to the other tools in my complement, if that makes sense. So if I've got a big saw, I usually go for a smaller knife and an axe. If I've got a large axe or machete, then I'll go for a smaller knife and a medium-sized saw. I generally mix and match depending on what I want to achieve when I'm out in the field as well. If I'm shelter building, medium term to long term shelter building, then I'm going to take some heavy duty equipment. So that's bushcraft. So as a general rule, my bushcraft knife is usually a traditional style bushcraft knife. And when I say traditional style, I mean modelled on the pioneers of days gone by. So the perfect example for me would be this one. And this one is one of my treasured possessions, and this was gifted to me by our good friend Redneck Renegade. And this is a hand forged French style butcher's knife. I believe is that maple handles? Can't remember now. Absolutely gorgeous pioneer style knife. It's hand forged. I believe it's made by Jeff White in a lovely dangler traditional style leather sheath made by Jack Russell of USA. So it's a good quality brand all round, and it's done in a traditional style. It's full tang, high carbon steel with a 90-degree spine, a true Scandi grind, and basically that's it. It's a butcher's knife that woodsmen and pioneers adopted to use as their belt or carry knives. So I like that because of the fact that it's got tradition, history and a little bit of soul about it and character. And it's also to this day still very capable. I'll treasure that forever. Thank you, Redneck. That being said, I also like a similar style of knife, still in traditional styling, like this BPS B1. Similar style of sheath, but these are a lot cheaper on price point. Therefore, I'm not frightened of actually taking them out in the field and using the snot out of them, because I'm not a rich man. I can't afford to go out and buy expensive knives every day of the week. So, but I do want to use knives in the woods, so I buy something that I can afford to use, abuse in some cases, and it doesn't break my heart to do so. And that is why things such as my gift from Redneck, I haven't used it. I probably will at some point, but it's my treasure, you know. That's my I'm not a rich boy, so that's my treasure. A more modern version would be like this. This is the Real Steel Bushcraft 2 knife, and this is D2 tool steel, so a hard-assed true Scandi grind, more modern take of the Bushlaw style of knife, with G10 liners and my Carter handles there. That's a nice knife, nice utility knife, and it also comes with the Kydex style of sheath, which I do like, but you know, it breaks away from tradition, but they are very good. So that's the sort of thing that I look for in a bushcraft knife. Now this is where for me it gets a little bit tricky. In my opinion, and this will probably get a lot of hate, but this is absolutely my opinion, a bushcraft knife should be a tool that is capable of most carving tasks, whether it be to make traps or tools, spoons, forks, etc., cutting cordage, preparing game, all of the camp tasks that a bushcrafter or woodsman would want to do within its parameters. However, if I want to do something more substantial, splitting heavy wood, making shelters or chopping wood for the fire, then I'm going to use my axe or the saw or a combination, which are the correct tools for the job. That being said, if for any reason I lose all my ancillary tools and I'm left with just the knife on my hip, my bushcraft knife, I get lost, my canoe capsizes, my car crashes and burns, whatever the scenario is, and that camping 2-day weekend has now become a survival situation, then the knife that I'm carrying has immediately become my survival knife, whether you like it or not. So I choose my bushcraft knives in the style of tradition and capable of camp tasks, but with a little bit in reserve, so it can perform as my survival knife should I need to. It's strong enough, it's full tang, it's a full Scandi grind which I can maintain in the field. The handles, the scales are of a good enough quality where water ingress, soil, blood, dirt, fish scales will not bother or penetrate it. So that's basically why I choose and the criteria I think about when I'm choosing a bushcraft knife. Because let's face it, people say, well, if you want to choose a survival knife, then you've got to go down the SE route, you know, and buy a great big Wamamama SE6 or whatever the hell they are these days, you know, big expensive hunting Rambo style knife. Well, yeah, so I'm going out bushcrafting for a scenario for 2 weeks. I'm having to go from an island to another island by rib. My rib fails, the engine cuts out, I develop a puncture, I have to dump my kit. I'm not talking a military situation, I'm not talking losing your Bergen and running with your chest gear, your yoke. As a civilian, for a scenario, so now all I've got is what I'm wearing on my hip, and that knife is my B2, my cold steel, sorry, D2 steel bushcraft knife, because that's all I've got on me. I can't go home and say, whoa, hold on a minute lads, just let me nip home, I've just got to go and collect my SE survival knife, because the survival knife wasn't intended to do bushcraft, but my bushcraft knife is now my survival knife. That's my thinking, my thought on it. Would I want to take an SE6, a great big mahoosive thing? I'm using that name as a figure of speech, so please forgive me. A big ass hunting knife, you know, a survival knife. Would I want to take that for a weekend or a week or two bushcrafting under controlled conditions? No, because it's not fine enough for intricate carving. If any of you guys and lasses have ever tried preparing game, like squirrels, you know, small stuff, with a bloody great big hunting knife, then, you know, yeah, it'll do it, but you don't end up with much good usable stuff on your plate. You know, you end up, anyway, smashing the living bejesus out of it. But that knife, people say, oh, it's great for battening and using as a shovel and digging, and which you should never do in my opinion. But battening, where do you actually use battening in a survival situation? You tell me that. Is it for shelter making? Why would you spend your time battening? You just snap wood. You do it as effectively a calorie efficient way as you can, and that isn't battening. Firewood, I need to prepare my chunks of wood and batten it. No, you don't. How have you made them logs that big? What have you cut them with? You don't batten in a survival situation, or you shouldn't have to if you're boxing smart. Low calorie output. high gain. I know I'm ranting, and Reaper did say to me that Mad Dog's going to get serious on this stuff. And yes, to a point I do get serious on this, because I like to base some of my opinions, and they are just that, on my experience. I have used big survival type utility knives in the past, and they're a good all-round tool, but they are, I call them Volvos, the Volvo car. They do a little bit of everything, but they're not very good at any one thing. So I would rather have a dedicated bushcraft tool, in the fact that 99.9% of time you won't be in a survival situation and enjoy your time in the woods or wherever you are. Just my take, my opinion. However, if I am in the shit, ladies present, my bushcraft knife will be good enough, with the knowledge and experience that I have and other people probably have a lot more, to create shelter, procure water, fire and signalling. What more do you need from a knife in a survival situation? That's the message I get to people, try and get across to people, is what do you expect from your knife? So yes, I ranted, and I do get passionate and serious about this subject because I absolutely bloody love it. It's brilliant, and I wished I could promote and get more people out into the field and try this stuff. I really do. I really truly mean that. I love it. And there is no right or wrong way. If you disagree with me, absolutely fine. What works for you is the right way. What works for me is the right way for me. And if I live to be an old wrinkly old man, which I nearly am now, then what I've been doing is right for me. If that makes sense, enjoy it. It's not meant to be a serious subject of debate and hate, and bloody enjoy it. It's a hobby, you know. Let's lighten up. To all those people that do take this serious to the point where if you say something bad about a particular product, they want to hate you forever, you know. I find it funny, you know, it really do. Ain't that serious, come on. Let me ask you this question, and I'm rambling on, but I love this stuff. How many of you guys and lasses, and I'm not talking in a military term here, civilian term, how many of you guys and lasses have actually lost all your equipment ever, and have only ever been left with your belt order, as in a belt knife? Yes, if you're a canoeist or a kayaker or a boater, you could potentially do that. Yes, a car crash and burn situation, aircraft crash and burn. I'm not talking extreme. I'm on about campers, hikers, bushcrafters. Honestly and truthfully. So, in my opinion, choose a good, strong, solid knife, but choose one that you enjoy using. That will be my opinion. So I'm going to sign off now, and just before I do, I want to explain this to you. The reason I'm leaning on the bench more so than normal, I'm actually in quite a lot of pain at the moment. My knee is swollen to hell. My knees are worn out and absolutely buggered, ladies present again. And I've got a lot of fluid on my knee, which I'll show you a photograph in a moment of this morning. After this morning's photograph, what's happened is the knee is now swollen more, but the fluid from that swell has actually gone down into my shin and around the calf area now, so I've got like an elephant's leg at the minute. So I think I will eventually need some medical attention. I've been to work all last week under the influence of painkillers and anti-inflammatories, but it has been a struggle, to be honest, but I am a stubborn old git, and we've got through it. But I'll show you a quick photograph of my knee this morning. It's quite funny. It's like I've grown an egg on my kneecap. Anyway, take care out there. Thank you all very much for your continued support. I'm doing a giveaway very soon. I'll tell you more about that in another video. So have a great weekend all. Stay safe, and until next time, Mad Dog signing off. Yeah!